Hello, I'm Danette Duron-Willner. I am president of the Farmington Community Library Board of Trustees. And with me, I have Ernie McClellan. Hello,
Hi,
Ernie.
Danette. How are you? It's very nice to be here with you.
Thank you. And Ernie, you not only signed up to be a board trustee, but a vice president as well. So, congratulations and welcome to the board.
Thank you. I appreciate the confidence that the fellow trustees place in my abilities and in yours as president. So, congratulations to you as well.
Yay!
Yay. Lots of work to do.
So, we're getting to be more familiar with our leadership styles and bringing some unity to the board. And those were your words when you and I first connected about truly starting to work as a unified board of trustees representing the community. And I'm wondering if you don't mind giving some background about, like, did you know what you were signing up for when you joined the board? Like, what was the perception from going from community member to board member? I mean, I've been here since last August as a board member. I have some history, but I'd love to know, like, what you think was the angle or the take that the community had from your perspective.
Well, quite frankly, I have to say that much of the community was probably unaware of, any goings on at the library until we became aware. Most people, I've been living in the community now, I guess, coming up on 4 or 5 years, and working in the community 5, living here about 4 years. And I was a patron of the library. I use the library regularly. From my outside observation, I didn't detect that there was any need for concern with regard to the library until I started hearing about some things going on at the library that I think I really heard about it first in the Farmington Voice.
Hmm.
So that's where I began to understand that there were some issues at the library. And I was concerned about it because the reason that people decide to live in Farmington Hills, one of the reasons is because of its stellar reputation. Farmington Hills has a reputation for being a welcoming community, for being one of the most diverse communities in the metropolitan area, for being a place where you can build a family and expect a pretty good return on your investment if you're looking to buy a home.
Here, here.
Yeah, and so from my perspective, the library is a core part of that intrinsic value in our community, and that's why I was really concerned.
Agreed. It held. It was definitely, as I was, looking to move here as well, 13 some odd years ago. It was the library, the parks, the schools, the diversity of the community that made this already feel not only as a welcoming community, but where we could grow our family in a space where there was just so much rich opportunity and connection to community through things like the library. So I do hold a special connection. My son practically was raised in the basement of this library
Oh, wow.
as an early reader. So it does, even for me personally, like, English wasn't my first language, and the library where I had grown up was a key to me learning and feeling comfortable learning English, not being thrown into the schools where you're self-conscious already as a student, but in a welcoming environment like a library. So I agree with that. So I appreciate that you had some insight, and we're still very willing to roll up sleeves and join the board of trustees. I think all the board members, understand the obligations now that we have to the community to have not only more of a unified voice, but a strategic focus into the future. And I mentioned that during our last board meeting. We really, Ernie, to be honest with you, like, the last 18 months have been unprecedented, not only with the pandemic, but staff in these buildings has, it's been just so disruptive, and such an uncertainty about, and stress, and it was painful to see the staff in distress. And you mentioned the Farmington Voice. I think if you actually chronicled the journey of, it would be in the articles from the furlough to disrespect coming from, in the form of an email to staff, going down the path then to IT reorganization, bringing back some of the staff, an executive director, and a transition from that, and a transition with people leaving the board. I mean,
and I think
yikes.
We both have a good deal of experience in the people management business in our work lives, and that's something I hold pretty dear is how we treat our employees, and that's definitely a place that I felt like I could contribute positively on the board.
Yeah. So I was really, I felt really supported and seen when you came on the board and said that you were willing to issue what we think is a combined statement that expresses a recognition of the last 18 months. Are you good if I read it and then we can talk about it? Okay, so I read this at the last library board meeting, but I wanted to take the chance to share it with community members who might be tuning into this. So here it goes. To FCL staff and community. The resilience you have shown through times that try us, times that bond us, and times where we are tired but still push forward has been remarkable. In joining together to serve as your board, we have so much to thoughtfully contemplate as we move into the future. We recognize that some actions, discussions, and decisions from the board over the course of the last 18 months have added stress and confusion for both the staff of FCL and the community. Although the current board holds beliefs which may differ from the boards of the past, we must pause to hear the diversity of voices which have shared accolades, but have also shared fear, sadness, and frustration. As the President and Vice President of the FCL Board of Trustees, we humbly hear you and want to ask for your support, but know that we need to ask for forgiveness before that can happen. We apologize to staff and community members for board actions, decisions, and discussions that were felt to have negative impact. We're grateful for your patience, public comments, and support of our incredible community libraries. There is so much work to do to uphold the virtues, vision, and resources that build the FCL, from showing respect for each staff member that pours their heart into making our libraries extraordinary, to developing a strategic plan that carries us into the future. You can be assured that our actions will be guided by an inclusive and transparent approach. We commit to making space for you, hearing you more deeply, and honoring your perspective. We commit to thinking beyond ourselves individually to think more inclusively. Let's continue forward progress. Thank you, FCL staff and community. We are grateful for you and look forward to doing work that honors our libraries. So you helped me significantly be brave enough to say this goes forward, and for adding the context of not only forward, but like boldly forward, like future forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are in such a pivotal time in society, and in order for us to maintain our competitive footing, make sure our citizenry is educated and edified in the way that they should be, and that our young people are prepared for tomorrow, the library's got work to do. So from my perspective, it was very important that we clear the table as best we could, and to let folks know that, sometimes things go off track, and that's maybe not okay, but it's okay as long as there are people there willing to get it back on track.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and have the humility to understand when there's opportunity to improve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I believe in systems theory, so we always have an opportunity for improvement, as long as there are inputs coming in. So as long as the public is telling us they need this or that, or they're interested in this or that, I think the library's got new things to do all the time.
Yeah. Well, I would like for us to continue this kind
Absolutely.
of dialogue with the
I
community
appreciate the
and friends.
forum. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it'll be good to share with them from time to time.
Yeah, the next thing that we're working on is a strategic plan. So maybe when we've come along with some news to report, we can come back. I think it'll help us formulate a vision and sharing our thoughts. I think I really would enjoy that.
Absolutely. I think the most dangerous time is when we don't know what people are thinking. So I think it'll be helpful for us to share with the community what we're thinking as we go through this transition to the future.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That's it. That's a wrap
Yeah.
with our casual conversation, but in a very important message. So thank you for that.